understand that you and your students also conduct research while at the Olympic Games. Could you share a little bit more about that?
While at the Olympic Games, students are responsible for interviewing spectators about their consumer behavior, both about how much they're spending, what they're doing, why they're there, and their satisfaction of the Games in general.
How long have you and your students been conducting these surveys at the Olympic Games, and why do you do it?
The GW students have been collecting this data since 1992 Barcelona Games, and the reason we collect this data is to share with the International Olympic Committee results, as well as for students to gain experience. And what we found is they also are more engaged with the spectators. They meet people from around the world, and it turns out to be a great experience. We collect unique set of data that provides interesting information for the future organizers as well as the Olympic Committee. And then it's a learning experience for the students.
Could you tell me more about the Beijing Olympic Spectator Motivation and Satisfaction Survey?
Yes, the students interview spectators that have traveled 50+ miles to attend the Olympic Games, and we collect over 500 of these surveys. The focus of this particular survey is on why spectators come to the Olympic Games. How did they become aware that they're happening, what motivated them to attend, and then what do they do once they're there, and how satisfied are they with the experience, from the volunteers to the concessions to the seating to the whole atmosphere. In Beijing in particular, we asked questions about the environment, and we saw the results that people were pleasantly surprised about the conditions in Beijing.
Could you tell me more about the Beijing Olympic Economic Impact Study you conduct?
Similar to the motivation survey, the students collect the data. We collect over 500 of this survey as well, and it's focused more on how much they're spending at the Olympic Games. We also ask them sponsor questions about whether they plan to purchase products from the corporate sponsors. This survey is especially important because before the Games, there's a lot of estimations about economic impact, but ours actually finds out how much people are actually spending during the Games.
Does the data collected from the Beijing study results reflect anything different than what was seen in previous Olympic Games?
In Beijing, we actually found that the amount spent on tickets was quite a bit less than other places, and I definitely know it'll be less than in Vancouver. The Chinese government purposely set the ticket prices low to reflect the valuation, the GDP of the population in China, and I don't think we'll ever see ticket prices that low again. We also saw that people came to China and took many more side trips, and that's something that was good for China in terms of increasing their tourism.
Regarding questions used for the survey, do you keep them consistent from game to game?
In general, the questions are the same, but for each Olympics, we add 2 to 3 unique questions depending on the global environment. For example, in Athens, we added security questions. In China, for the Beijing Games, we added questions about the environment. We added questions whether people did they know somebody who did not show up to the Games because of political reasons, and we also asked if they thought Beijing was an appropriate host for the Olympic Games.
Regarding the unique set of questions used for the Beijing study, what were the results?
Our GW survey showed that over 75% of the spectators surveyed believed Beijing was an appropriate choice to host the Olympic Games. Furthermore, the majority of them believed the environment was what they expected or even better. And in terms of those who did not travel to the Beijing Games for political purposes, approximately 10% of the spectators knew somebody who did not attend the Games for those reasons.